Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So as I record this episode, sister, it is Valentine's Day here today. And my two little boys, Kai's 3, Tyson's 6, super excited. They got some little chocolates from my dad this morning, a little stuffy and a card, and Valentine's Day cards for the kids. And so Tyson and I are walking to school today. He's in grade 1, and we talked about love. And one of the things I have the boys saying, what I call their power words, some might refer to as affirmations, but our power words are really like a code of conduct that our family, the Osborne family, stands for. And one of the things that the boys say is that I love myself. So I said, Bud, why do you think it's important that you love yourself? He's like, well, I don't know. And that 6-year-old kids tend to do. I don't know. Although he often has answers for me because he tells me that he knows everything. Because you also do that when you're 6. But when I told him, I said, do you think that if you love yourself, that you can actually love people better? He goes, yeah. I said, do you think if you love yourself first, that allows you to actually receive love from other people? He goes, yeah. And I said, do you think if you love yourself first, that you're a kinder person? He said, yeah. All those things, Mommy. A little out here as I pass the concrete truck walking back, the one that Tyson saw on the way over and super stoked and excited to see in real life. Concrete truck, oh my gosh. So here's my point in talking about this today. It's not going to be about concrete, this discussion. Valentine's Day, right? I'm driving my youngest son to school, and as I was driving to boxing this morning, there's all sorts of songs about love on the radio, right? And what's interesting and what really struck me today is how much these messages of love talk about how somebody else helps them feel a certain way. Like, you make me feel this way, or if it's, we're, again, Valentine's Day, all about the love, right? But how about the other 364 days of the year? That person made me feel a certain way. When you said this, you made me feel. We act about the emotion of love as if it's something that people have to give to us. We have this belief system in North America, at least, that says that if someone does something for me, that I'm going to feel this. Now, someone can certainly do something for you, and you can feel that emotion of love. That's awesome. But this is where the challenge, and this is where this concept is broken, is that if we believe that someone has to give us something, someone has to do something, someone has to be a certain way and show up a certain way in order to give us something, then see, this is where this whole thing goes to shit. This is where all those romantic comedies and John Cusack and Hugh Grant and whoever's the new stud, Ryan Gosling, movies, I think it's all fairy tales and wonderful. And not to rain in your parade, sister, but that's not what love is. I wrote a post about this morning on Facebook. Maybe I'll reference it here in the show notes. Said, love can be messy. Love can be complicated. Love can be fucking difficult. Love can be painful. But it can also be amazing and deep and joyful. And this feeling like time just stands still. Love can bring the greatest lessons in your life if you're willing to go there. If you're with a husband, a partner that is willing to push each other, that you've been through a lot of shit together in your life, this is my marriage, then there's a depth and a connection that happens over time because of that love. Love. John Lennon had something going on, right? All you need is love. But here's the thing, is you don't need to receive it from anybody. Like, yes, have an amazing marriage. Yes, love your children deeply. Yes, love up the people in your life that you love. But realize that the best way, just like I explained to my big boy Tyson today, the best way to be able to receive love, the best way to give love is to love yourself first. Not last, sister. I know how most of you roll. First. And it sounds really cheesy, right? Oh, you can't love somebody else unless you love yourself first. It's fucking truth. It's truth. So here's something I want you to realize. Notice how there's times that people will say something nice about you and give you a compliment, and how easily you'll brush it off. Oh, it's no big deal. Oh, it's fine. Oh, it must be just like being my lucky day today. Receive that. And the only way you can receive love is if you love yourself first. Like, I literally just got this concept. Oh my God, it was 6 months ago. I remember posting something, and after all the shit that we have been through in our lives and the expansion that's happened for my husband and I and my children and our businesses over the last 2 years, that has been absolutely incredible because of the deep work that we've done and continue to do every single day, no matter what, because we're clear on what we want and we know why it has to absolutely happen, like why it's a must, why it matters to us. That it was almost like once we moved here to BC, Victoria, BC in Canada, where we used to live in Alberta. We moved here about 6-7 months ago. That it's kind of like once the dust has settled and we sold our house and found a new house, a new community, and walked away from 2 businesses, and it was just like, oh my God. Like, I'm so proud of myself. Like, literally was just kind of like walking around going, almost like I'm high. I remember this moment I came back and I wrote a post about it saying, I finally love myself. Like, it sounds so trite, right? It sounds so stupid almost. Like, it just sounds silly. But here's the ability that we have. If you're listening, sister, and you're a mother, start teaching your children this. Holy shit. Start teaching your children this. My boys will not have to wait 47 years to have the realization that they actually finally love themselves. They don't hate certain parts of their body. They don't wish things were different. You can certainly want to make yourself better. But the way that most women feel about their bodies, not good enough, I'm fat, extra rolls, ugly, stretch marks, don't meet the standards. And like, just truly love who you fucking are. See, you can have Valentine's Day every day of the fucking year if you simply learn how to love yourself. And for me, what's been true for me, sister, is that the best way, the only way for me to truly receive, like 1,000% receive the love that comes to me, is to love myself first. Is to love myself first. So here's your more tip for today. I'm giving you guys lots of journaling stuff. There's so much value in journaling and writing things. So here's what I want you to write. What I love about myself is at the top of your journal page, and just start writing. I don't care. Write a sentence, write a paragraph, write a manifesto. What I love about myself is give yourself some credit. You are incredible. You are beautiful. You are enough. What I love about myself is, P.S., you're welcome. Love yourself first. And here's your second more tip. Listen to this episode about 3 times. Really, do that. Listen to this like 3 times. This comes out the day after Valentine's Day. A lot of you are listening to the podcast weeks and months, and maybe even years later, this podcast continues on. This, I think, is episode 250. But just listen to this again, sister. This is a big one. This is important. I know I talk a lot about other things, but like love. Just learn to love yourself first. So here's what I would love for you to do next, sister. I want you to go over to my website, drkarenosborne.com. You're going to see it pop up, and you need to get in on the Women Wanting More newsletter. You can also get the More for Action Guide, which is a way to start your day in power. And you'll get all the updates. I have a webinar. It's actually today. If you listen to this podcast today, coming out February 15, 2016, on how to create your best marriage, business, body, and family without running yourself into the ground. You'll be able to get advanced seating for all of my webinars. My first annual Women Wanting More Live, which is coming up in a couple of months in Vancouver, BC, Canada. Launch of my book coming out soon. Also, too, the new Women Wanting More Sisterhood community, which is what I'm actually launching at the webinar. This is going to be incredible. What an opportunity for so many of you to connect from around the world and really learn the tools that I'm teaching, have access to me like I've never done before, like I do for my high-paying clients. So you're going to be able to get all of that when you get on the newsletter. So it's over at drkarenosborne.com. And if you are listening again on the day it comes out, the 15th of February, then you'll see the link in the show notes to attend the webinar. Get your seat, sister. This one's going to rock. I promise you that. So I will talk to you in the next episode. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.